Hello friends! Welcome to Stories and Stitches. I'm Jada. Today, finally, the rabbit. We have been working on our Happy Farm sewing kit, which has just been so much fun. It's been like sort of revisiting childhood sewing cards or something. And we've made 5 of the little critters so far, and I put up a poll on the posts tab, I guess a couple days ago now, of the next 4 critters that we would choose from, and the rabbit one. So we're going to do the rabbit today. I'm very pleased about that since it is a week to Easter, and I really did want to do the rabbit before the Easter weekend got here. So that will be animal number 6 that we're doing today. As usual, I have kind of combined the usual things on the craft table with a couple of extras. Charlie already made her rabbit and sent me a photograph, and she added a fluffy tail, which I just thought was like so smart. So I've got my box of pom-poms because I think I want to do something similar. I don't know if I have any white pom-poms. I'll dig through that box when we come to that. And then the other usual things that I'll go through when we go to the craft table. So just quickly, I'm going to pop into the chat and say hello to everybody. We've got Jessica Rabbit and Charlie and Mr. InStitches. Dizzy D is here. Vima, hello Vima, everybody who's piling in. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It is so nice to have you here. We're just going to have some fun doing a little super simple craft today. We're going to stitch up this rabbit, and once I bring you to the table, you'll kind of see what I'm talking about. I do like adding a little bit of embellishment to these otherwise sort of prefab kits because it makes it yours. It's a little way to add a little bit of extra something to it. But sometimes it just feels like it needs something, and it's a fun way to use up some of the miscellaneous craft scrappy stuff we've got lying around. I know I have mountains of it. I've been collecting craft supplies since the beginning of time, and I typically don't throw anything out. So, okay. Yes, Vima's got to hit the sack soon. Oh my goodness, that is very early in the morning. I'm so glad you popped in to say hi, Vima. Thank you. Have a good night's sleep. The rest of us are going to be busy working on, or just watching me work on this silly little rabbit. So we're just going to have a little bit of fun. Crafting is all what it's all about here. Not speaking. That's not what it's about. Just crafting. Let's drop down to the craft table, and we'll see what I've got cooking up here. Okay, so the kit. We will go through that in a moment. If you've not made any of these before, I recommend having your own scissors, your own crafting scissors, because it does come with scissors, but they're not super great. Not that there's a lot of cutting involved, it's just nice to be able to cut and keep going. Who have we made so far? So we started with the chicken. This was the first one we made, and I just thought this was so fun and so funny, and they're just so easy. It was a nice one to cut our teeth on. Then we did the little black cat, which was probably the easiest one so far. She had a little bit of extra embroidery in the face. The only reason I think it's nice to not start with the cat is because she's stitched in black, and you know, if you have trouble seeing things, the black stitching it's just helpful to know what you're doing, and so you don't have to think too much before you use the black thread. Black thread does give some people a hard time. Then we made the duck. How cute is this little duck? Everything's plain on the back, which I think is fine, because these are just supposed to be simple little, like, easy breezy sewing kits. I think the duck is adorable. Then we did the cow. I just absolutely adored this one. I wanted to add a little cowbell to her neck, and I did that. This is actually like a ghost, a little ghost bead, but it looks like a cowbell to me. And I like that she's facing us head on. There was a little extra stitching with different colors on her. And then the last one we did most recently was the horse, which I thought was just so cute. And I added a little saddle because I felt he needed a little saddle. So that's who has been hanging out with us so far. Today, and let's get to this in a minute, we are going to get to the rabbit. So, hello, E. Peaches is in the house. Welcome, welcome. So nice to have so many of you here. Okay, so a little bit of stuffing. It comes with a little bit of stuffing, which is great. Some of us have been adding stuffing, some of us haven't. You really don't need to add much. I've been adding a little bit because I like that slight 3D look. Then there's the package of eyeballs, and it says the rabbit is looking at us head on, so I'm going to pull out 2 eyeballs before I get too far ahead here. There we go. All of these nice little resealing packages. Okay, then There's the package with all of the embroidery floss. These are those scissors I mentioned. They're really cute, and they do work. They're safety scissors, so like little kids can't really cut themselves. They do work, but they're not as sharp as your own scissors, so I recommend having your own. And then I always keep my little needles stitched together. So I've got one, I only need one. And I think we're going to need gray and white, I think, for the rabbit today. So I'll get those out. If I need anything else, I'll come back to that. Nice sounding. Becky! Hello, Becky! Welcome! Welcome, welcome. All right, so the remainder, we still have the barn to do, which I'm looking forward to. I just think it's so cute. We still have the 2 trees to do. The little dog, which comes with a collar, but he's going to need a little something, like a little collar, like a little tag, I think, of some sort. The turkey. The little sheep, which I just think is so cute. The pig. I like the look of the pig too. The thing is that the pig's cute. The pig reminds me a bit like in the shape of the cat. And today we're doing the rabbit. So that is what we're going to do. I'm going to put these guys back in the box. We will get to them at a later date. Okay, and I'm going to just get my little goofy guys out of the way. I have my emergency kit of extra stuff, just in case. You know what, I'm going to keep my stuffing in there. Just in case, you know, we feel it needs something. I've been kind of wandering around the craft room collecting little odds and ends as I see them, and they go in here. That's the emergency craft bowl. And I have my box of pom-poms, which we will get into a little bit later because I really liked Charlie's idea of adding a fluffy tail to the rabbit. The rabbit has a tail, but it's not fluffy, and I feel like it should have a fluffy tail. I also have my handy-dandy glue gun, so I can add the eyes because the only thing this kit doesn't come with is glue, and you do need glue for the eyes, and glue gun is where it's at for me. So I'll plug that in later. And most importantly, besides my friends, is a cup of tea. So here we go. Let's open up this package and we'll see. So I've got the 2 eyes, I've got the gray and white embroidery floss, I've got my little needle. Oh, I should probably take a picture of this. I like to do that. I like to pause for posterity and take a picture. So let me just grab my camera and do that. There we go. Perfect. I just like to have a photograph of each one as they come because they're just so darn cute. Okay. Shell, hello. Welcome, welcome. We are just getting into the rabbit. Oh, I love these packages. They're just so nice. Sunday fun day. I agree, Becky. I love it. Yeah, Jessica Rabbit says, I pick and choose the ones I want to add the stuffing to. And I think that is another fun thing about this kit. You know, some of them feel like they could use a little bit of stuffing and some of them don't really need it. I'll see about how I feel about this little rabbit. I think I'll just put that to the side. Okay, all right. So let's get into the little instruction booklet. This is just such a little joy. Every little book is like a little joy. Okay, here we go. So first things first, we want to make sure we've got all the pieces. So we've got, let me get all these out of the way. We have a front and a back. So the way they show them is this way. So the back and the front. The front has extra holes in it for the little nose and mouth embroidery. So that's the front, that's the back. It shows it being stitched together with the feet facing to the right. Of course, if you wanted to, it's completely reversible, so you could stitch it together with the feet facing to the left. Charlie has reversed a couple of hers, which I think looks really cool, because they're really the same on both sides. I feel like, gee, is that the better side, or is this the better side? white. They've added white. So I'm going to do what they say, but I'm also going to add the white. So I've got my pink, gray. Oh, a little sip of my tea. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is thread up our needle and stitch on our little nose. Use the pink yarns to sew on the nose. This shows use the gray yarns to sew on the mouth, and they actually are using gray in this picture, but this is white. So I'm going to use white because I think that obviously stands out better. So first, let's put the nose on the front piece using our pink. And obviously, we're going to sew. Oh, look at this. I just noticed. The front piece has holes for the front facing ears, but so does the back piece. So I guess they want you to sew the inner ear through both sides. So you're going to have a little bit of pink stitching coming through the back. And since there's holes there, I will do that. But let's not get ahead of ourselves, Jada. Let's give ourselves a little bit of pink. So easily enough for the nose and enough for both ears. There we go. Oh, really? Yeah. The video froze? Oh yeah, that's funny. What happened? Yep, audio only since it froze. Okay. So, let me see here. Can you guys see me now? So you can see, hi Mela. So you can see me, but you can't see the table. Okay, let me just fiddle a little bit here.
I see you now.
Okay, so you can see me. So now it looks like it's the camera. I wonder if I unplug it and plug it back in, do you think it'll be a problem?
No.
All right, so I'm going to unplug the camera for the it wouldn't be an InStitches stream if there wasn't some sort of technical difficulty. Okay, so you guys can see me. All right. All stopped. All right, but you could still hear me. Okay, that's fine. Well, now you can see my face. So I'm going to pop back down to this sort of the table and see if it works. Oh, it's still frozen. This is so weird. I wonder why. What is happening with this? Yeah, that's really strange. It's not coming up as anything. Okay. Well, let me unplug it. My little light's on. The little camera is trying. Yeah, it's still frozen. That is the weirdest thing. I wonder what happened. Still. Oh, and now Charlie says there's no sound. Audio cuts out when you unplug. Yeah. Okay. Is there sound though? So it's the sound is happening. This is so strange. What to do? I guess I could. I guess. You know what? Let me just. I'm just gonna fiddle a little bit with the it's so funny. It's not reading that there's a camera there at all. I don't know why that happened. Interesting. This software also just went through a little bit of an update. So sound now, just not when you unplug. Okay, thanks, Crochet Girly. I wonder why on earth would this... Okay, you know what? It's fine. You're just gonna have to stare at my face while I work on this rabbit, which is fine because I can do it in front of you. I don't know why I don't know why it's not working, because it is plugged in and the light is on. Okay, one more little check here. If I flick down, I wonder why it froze. That is the most bonkers thing. Yeah, it's still showing this whatever. It's all right. We're gonna do this way instead. I will not be beaten by technology, not on a Sunday afternoon when I've got my friends over in the craft room. So, as long as the audio is still working, because I guess that camera is where my audio comes from. So all I'm gonna do then is just sew my nose on. I'm using my pink. It looks like the nose. Another thing I like about this felt is that it's stiff felt, but it's kind of like you can put a piece on it and it won't slide off or fall off. It kind of just grabs a little bit. I like that. So I'm going to sew the little nose on with pink thread, and I'm going to leave a little tail to the back, just a smidgeny bit, and I'll knot the two ends together when I get back around to it. So how was your week? Thank you so much for hanging out. I have no idea why that, after all these streams, that camera decides to give us a hard time. Yes, there's been, it just updated the stream, but you see, I updated it before the last stream we did, and that didn't seem to be a problem, so I don't know. And another reason I love this, I can look at you guys while I stitch. I don't even have to look at what I'm doing half the time. So that's the nose. I'm just going to tie the two ends together. And then I will take, I guess after that we have to do the mouth embroidery. So I'll do that. So there's the little knot on the back. And I'll just trim, that doesn't need too much tail. Just make sure that's nice and snug. And then I'm gonna switch to white just briefly. And I think I have a scrap of white. I don't throw out my scraps. So I'll switch to white and I'll do the mouth. And another thing I noticed, so there are 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 little holes. It was kind of the same thing with the cat. So you see the cat mouth. The whole combination, the downward facing Y, that is the kind of the bottom of the nose and the mouth on the cat, it also had the same number of holes for sewing. There's 7 of them. But on the picture, they only show 3 stitches, a 1 stitch and then a stitch and a stitch. So they don't use all 7 of the holes. So I'm not going to use all 7 of the holes. I'm going to do like the 1 long stitch and then the 2 long stitches besides. I did that with the cat. I just like the way that looks better. So I'm going to do the same thing with Mr. Rabbit here. Should he have an Easter tie? You know how like a cartoon rabbit, I mean, he doesn't have to be the Easter rabbit, but wouldn't it be kind of cute? Just because this is all very plain, wouldn't it be kind of cute if we made him like a little tie? Like he's wearing like a little, not a bow tie, but like a proper tie? A proper tie or a bow tie? Should he have a tie? He doesn't have to have a tie. I just think that'd be kind of cute. I like seeing your face. Thank you, Mr. InStitches. Is there a photo and video mode? Like oh, that's a good question, Shell. You know what? I'll look into that afterwards. I'm not going to fiddle with it anymore. I don't want to waste your time or mine messing around with the camera. I'll figure it out afterwards. I updated it before the last stream, and obviously everything was fine. So I don't know. I have not touched a thing since then. So I don't know. I'll figure it out though. We always do figure it out. So I'm gonna do one long stitch. So there's this part. So I'm gonna do one long stitch, and then I'm gonna come down to the very far end. So out the far bottom, and then loop back up. So I'm skipping all the little middle holes. I don't know why they gave us so many holes when they themselves didn't even use them, but I think just those ones are fine. Yeah. Yeah, that looks good. Very simple. I will now knot those ends together. Jessica Rabbit says a bow tie. Yeah, I think so too. I think maybe like a little brightly colored tie would look so cute. I do have a lot of cute fabric. I might make them a proper bow tie. I just feel like that would look so cute. Okay, nose and mouth, done. Next, let's see here. It's getting nice and busy and messy on my surface. White thread back in my little emergency kit. Let's see what happens next. So, nose is on. Embroidery of the mouth is done. We used white, not gray. Step 4, put 2 and 3 on the front body, put 4 between the front body and the back body, so all the pieces together, and leave an opening for stuffing. So we're at that part already. So, inner ears. I'm losing all my pieces here. I've lost one of my inner ears already. How did I do that? Oh, this is just for our kids. Oh, here it is. It was under my scissors. Okay. All right, so I think the 2 inner ear pieces are pretty much identical. And yeah, they do that. So I think because they're sewn sort of uniquely, I'll sew them in first. But you know, yeah, I'm going to do that because they put holes that go all the way through, which I think is kind of strange. I don't want knots on the wrong side of the rabbit. I want the knot on the inside, so I'm going to sew down the inner ear part first. So let's do that. Crochet Girly thinks a bow tie would be really... I think a bow tie would be really cute. So, I think he's going to get a bow tie. A fluffy tail and a bow tie. And I will make him a proper tie. I will sew a tie for him. Just a hand sew. Nothing like... I'm not busting out the sewing machine or anything, but... Okay, so... To do the inner ear thing, I'm going to do what I usually do is when I'm sewing the 2 back and fronts together, I go like on the inside. So I slip my hook, or my needle, I should say, between them. And I'm going to do one, come out. Oh, but I want that hole to be there. It's so weird that there's holes. On second thought, okay, so I'm looking closely at the stitching they've done on the rabbit, and it looks like they've doubled use of a couple of the holes up here. I'm not sure why yet. I guess probably because same thing, they don't want the knots being on the outside of the rabbit. So I'm going to come through at the top, middle. So let's do that right up here. And then, so my little stitch will be out here. I go, I know. So then I go down 1 hole. This shouldn't be complicated. So I've come in from the side. and then I've gone down the next one, but I'm going to come back up through that top hole. No, I'm not. How am I going to get my other end up there? If I do this, I put 2 stitches there. If I do this, well, maybe that's what they did. So let's try that again. Maybe they came through the second one. I'm trying to make this as neat and tidy as possible. So if I come through the second hole from the bottom, the second hole from the top, leave a little tail. I'll show you what I'm talking about in a second. And then, okay, I got it. Tail comes in between the front and the back. I come out through the second from the top, the second hole from the top. Then I go up and I do that hole, the one at the top. And then I come back through the hole second from the top, so that you see the proper stitching on the back and you see the stitching on the front, but you end up with the double stitching, which they've actually done. I don't know if you can see this. Maybe I'll show it to you on the front. So I don't know if you can see this, but at the top of the inner ear, there's a stitch and a stitch. And normally, of course, there's a gap between holes because you go in and then out and then in and out. But there's double stitching up at the top. That's because they've done exactly what I did. I hope that makes sense. Dizzy says, I want to sew grocery bags. Oh, I love sewing bags. I love sewing bags. You can never have too many bags, crocheted, sewn, or otherwise. And they're fun. They're fun to sew. Okay, so the rest of it is just normal stitching. When I get to the bottom, I'm going to loop back up to the second hole from the bottom, but come up through the middle and not all the way through, and then that's where I'm going to tie my 2 ends together. I'll show you what this looks like in a second. It'll look neat and tidy. I hope I explained that. They kind of leave out little details like that. I mean, obviously, this is not supposed to be taken as seriously as, as I'm making it. But, you know, if you want a neat and tidy little stuffy or bag charm or whatever you're going to do with them. Just snipping my thread. I'm going to thread my needle back up. Okay. So I don't know why. I'm just going to tuck that in there. So then these will stay to the inside when I sew all the way around. Good. Okay. All right. So maybe this will show it a little bit better. You can see they're sort of double stitching up at the top. But that is what allows me to have the knot on the inside. And then there's double stitching at the back on the bottom because I had to loop back in order to use all of the holes on the inner ear. And then I've brought both my yarns from the middle and I've knotted them there. So there's no knots showing. Ultimately, that's what this is about. No knots showing. I'm going to do the other ear now in the exact same format. So yarn in between the front and the back rabbit pieces through the second hole from the top of the inner ear. I hope I'm holding that properly so you can see it. Leave the tail out for knotting. I go back up to the top. So now the whole stitch at the front is done. And then I come back through the second hole from the top, and then I do regular stitching down to the bottom. That takes care of that. In, out, all the way to the bottom. Jessica Rabbit says, I've done some back stitching on some of these to make it work. Yeah, you kind of have to, just for neatness sake, and if you want to have like all your knots kind of showing through to the inside. So I'm all the way to the bottom, but in order to bring my yarn back through to the inside, I'm going to go through that hole that's second from the bottom, but not go all the way to the front. I'm going to go to the inside. This is why you got to do the inner ear first. And then I can knot those ends together. So let's get this down here. So now I'm going to knot the ends on the inside. The serious part / practice of sewing neatly is what appeals to me most about this. I have never properly learned to sew anything. Shell, you make an excellent point. This is about teaching, in most cases, young children how to sew, just the basics of like knotting your yarn or your thread, sewing back and forth, doing a straight stitch, keeping, you know, your stitches even and not too tight or not too loose. It is about practicing sewing. It is about sort of learning how a product goes together, you know, like how the construction of something. So you're right. These are technically used for a kind of educational tool. And you're never too old to learn something. Even I had to sort of stop and think about that for a second. And I love sewing and sewing together little things, but now the ears are neat and tidy. So the inner ear is on. I think it was a strange choice on the part of the manufacturer to make the ear holes go all the way to the back. That said, that looks neat. The little pink stitching on the back and the little pink inner ear stitching on the front. Done. Okay, that was the hardest part in my humble opinion. Now that's the white and the pink crochet, I should say embroidery floss taken care of. I'm gonna put them back. Now it's just all the way around and adding the tail. So let's grab some of this lovely soft, oh, I like this gray color so much. What do I usually do, about a yard? Yeah. Okay, yard gets you all the way around one of these little guys with some despair. And normally I leave, look how, like, this is another thing, it's very chibi. The head is huge, the body is small. So the little tail is going to sit in here. Right about there. And I need to leave an area for stuffing. I think it's going to be the side of the head this time because that's the biggest part. And I'm not going to put much stuffing in. So I'm going to start at the bottom of the ear and go all the way around and then back up. So I'm going to leave this side open. Yes. So I'm going to bring my thread through from the middle, leave a little tail, and off I go. I'm going to go up and around the ears. And then around the head. I'm going to leave the side of the head open because I feel like that's the biggest part and probably the easiest to do the stuffing with. Charlie's rabbit has lost its eyes. That's, you got to get stronger glue there, Charlie. You can see everything fine. Okay, good. So this is nice too. We're kind of hanging out. I can kind of read the chat. I know it's not necessarily the most exciting thing to see somebody on camera reading chat, but at least I can see what you're doing and you can see what I'm doing, and I will fix the other camera. I don't know why I decided to be a bit of a butthead today. Remind me I got to put my tail back in. But like I said, it wouldn't be an InStitches stream if there wasn't some kind of technical difficulty, but hey, we roll with it. It's okay. Obviously, I was meant to just talk straight to you all day today. Jessica Rabbit says, I do that trick where you run the thread around the outside ×2 plus a few inches. It has worked for me so far. That is an excellent trick. I usually, when I'm sewing on appliques, that's typically what I do. Because it does work. You got to, especially if you're doing a straight stitch, it's basically, it's not like a whip stitch uses up more, blanket stitch uses up a lot more, but a straight stitch is just basically a straight line, so. Dizzy D says squirrels. You know what? It probably is because I saw a squirrel today. I haven't seen the squirrels much. I mean, there's been like a mile of snow on top of us and it's been very cold. So I'm not surprised that I didn't see any squirrels. But today I was doing dishes and I looked out the window and I saw the skinniest, cutest little squirrel running up a tree. And I thought, oh, sure sign of spring. Then I ran and I did a grocery run today. And, all of the crows had like the low-level zoomies. Do you know what I mean? Like when they zoom across the road in front of you, like they're almost quasi-suicidal. But they were just zooming all over the place, but low to the road. And I'm like, oh, okay, you guys have got the happy zoomies. It's going to be like, the weather's obviously turning. It's going to be nicer soon. So, and it's been sunny all day. So the squirrels are out running to follow up on that thought, and that's probably why we had a camera problem, because the squirrels are out of their little burrows, their little warrens. What does a squirrel live in? A nest? Squirrel nest? They are out and they are about. But you know what else? This is also much more comfortable, holding it up so that you can A, kind of see what I'm doing, and B, I'm not trying to like, I'm not looking down. I look down so much. There's so much like, I mean, we all kind of do that. You know, you're on your phone or you're looking down at your work or you're looking down at like whatever you happen to be working on in your lap. It's nice to actually sit with my head up for a change. And of course I can see right through these little holes. Maria's back. Hello, Maria. Oh, it's so nice that so many of you here. It's, you know what? Crafting is, it's a nice background for conversation. I feel like that's probably why, one of the reasons that quilting bees were so popular. It wasn't just because, you know, it helped get an entire quilt put together in time for a big occasion. It's just that it was a nice excuse to get together and chit chat. Shell says, too tired of winter. I double that. Second that. To fly any higher. Yeah. The birds and squirrels have been very busy over here the last week. It's spring. It's almost like they've got a little calendar. Like they kind of take their nose out from underneath their big fluffy tail and they look up at the calendar on the wall. It's like, it's got like, you know, different nuts. Every season has a different nut on it. And they look at March, and March is like, it's like a soggy peanut or something, you know, because they're coming to the end of the stores. And they've been kind of crossing off the little days, and then, you know, spring has like, you know, buttercups and fiddleheads and you know, crocus heads kind of blooming all around it, and they know that it's time to get up and start, you know, they'll find maybe something a little bit fresh. So they pop out, they come out, they know it's spring. I'm thinking about his bow tie. So I have a container of quilting fabric scraps. And there's one in particular that I got from my grandmother. I'm pretty sure it's from the mid-90s. And I say that only because of the color and the pattern. Also, I kind of remember her making something for one of my cousins when they were relatively new on the planet. So I'm pretty sure it was like a little shirt or something. But it's, in my opinion, like got very nice springy, Eastery kind of colors. It's the one I have in my mind. So I'm thinking I might pull that out and make a little bow tie for him. And I've got the glue gun here. I'm just going to glue gun it to him. I'm not, no, I'm going to sew it. No, I'm not going to glue gun the bow together. I will sew the bow together, but I'm going to glue gun it to him. Because I think he should have a little bow tie. I think that's appropriate. Also very cute. In, out, in, out. This is so nice. And simple. Mid-90s, it must be nice fabric, says Jessica Rabbit. Yes, it is nice fabric. You know what, to be perfectly fair, I feel like quilting cotton is something you can rely on. Quilting cotton fabric has always been really nice. Some of the places I shop at for quilting cotton, they carry all kinds of beautiful patterns, and you know, I think I've shown some of it that I've picked up recently on the other stream. The colors are rich. The fabric feels really nice. It's a nice high thread count. I feel like I've always been able to get my hands on good, solid, 100% cotton. So I'm really happy about that. Dizzy says, I think I'll make a bath mat out of cotton. 100% agree. Dries well. You can throw it in the washing machine. Cotton is really good for home decor in general. Let me just let that unwind itself. Cup of tea. Okay. So now I'm excited about the bow tie. Bow tie and a fluffy tail. I love the fluffy tail idea. That was Charlie's. I just think that's such a great idea. And I'm going to show you my box of... I'm sorry that the overhead camera is not working because it would have been easier to show you the box of pom-poms. But I can still show you the box of pom-poms. All right, I'm getting up to the bottom of the head where I'm going to pause and I'm going to stuff. And before I stuff, I always have to pause and plug in my handy-dandy little hot glue gun. So, pause in stitching. Let me dip down here and plug in the glue gun. Okay. Glue gun is now heating up. And I want to put in not a lot of stuffing because this little guy's body is really small. It's his head that's really big, which I like. I like that choice. I think that's funny. Tail, tail, you guys are right. I missed his tail. See, I got so excited. Thank you guys. Thank you guys. I will unsew. Thank you. Here I am prattling on about a fluffy tail and I didn't even stop to put it in the first place. This is why it's good to craft with friends. Okay, did I take out enough? I think I did. Thank you guys. Okay. Thank goodness you guys are paying attention. He almost didn't get a tail. I would have gone to add a fluffy tail and I would have been like... I use my scraps with a solid, says Dizzy. That sounds good. Charlie yells, tail. Crochet Girlie says, don't forget his tail. Thank you guys. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you both. I'm really glad that you're paying attention. This rabbit will have a tail thanks to you. Okay. Where was I? Let's do a little stuffing. Okay. So just a little bit of stuffing in his body. Because his body isn't very big. And I think that the tail should be, the tail and the bow tie should be the showcase. So, a little bit of stuffing in his head. I think that's enough. Hello, Linda. Linda's in the house. Welcome, welcome. So nice to see you too. Taken a little time to stitch up one of these cute little rabbits. I love they're so cute. I just all right, I haven't forgotten anything else. Have I? Stuffings in, tails on. I'm just so excited to get to the point where I've got him all stitched up and I can start adding his eyes, and then we can pick out a tail for him. I don't think I have a white pom-pom. I might, but I'm pretty sure I've got like a pink one, and I think since he might be the Easter Bunny, he probably would have a specially colored tail. So I'm thinking tail. The fluffy tail reminds me, I'm giving the plush bunny we made a few weeks ago to Mom for Easter. She's gonna love him. I made him a little basket for some chocolate eggs. Shell. That sounds adorable. I love the plushy bunny. I've got him up behind me. I love him. Every once in a while, like I make a lot of things to give away. Occasionally I make things to sell. Some things I know I'll never be able to part with, and that rabbit is one of them. Okay, I'm coming back here. So I'm almost finished. That all those holes are used, so I want to come in here. This one works out perfectly. That's nice. All right, so I'm gonna tie my ends together and tuck them into the body. Does he want a yarn chicken? Jessica Rabbit has lots of pom-poms that she can lend me. That's nice. When you're low on, when you run out of pom-poms, you know who your friends are. Okay, a little bit of tail left. That goes into my emergency kit because those little scraps come in very handy. And now I'm gonna just pull this through my rabbit. Le pain. Shell, help me out. Le pain. That's rabbit in French, right? How's our grade 4 French doing? Petit le pain. Am I right? I'm trying as an adult to improve my French skills, and it's a very slow process because I have 2 other languages besides English cramming themselves in the way every time I try to think of the right word or noun or adjective in French. All right, let's start with that. You may make another one. I loved how it came together so much. I'm thinking I might make one in pink because I think it would be cute to have like a pink rabbit around. I'm just getting this one little bit of stubborn thread. There we go. Okay. Stitched together. Has his tail, has his inner ears, has his nose, has his mouth, needs his eyes. So, I kind of like them, you know, pretty much where the little picture says to put them. So I think I'm going to stick them down about the same way, just above his nose. Hot glue. So I'm going to do, whoops, that. There we go. That's one. Oh, the smell of the glue gun. It's so nice. And there's number 2. Okay. So I like them kind of close to his nose. Okay, now the fun stuff. All right. Monsieur Rabbit, Le Petit Lapin. Sounds good to me. Google sounded close but had different pronunciations for male and female. Really? Lapin and Lupin, perhaps? Le Petit Lapin. That's what I'm going with. Okay, little rabbit. He's got his ears, his eyes, everything's done. Now we get to decorate. So, first things first, he needs a fluffy tail. As Charlie has demonstrated, so I've got extra rainbow looming. Anybody love rainbow loom? I got tons of those in here. Okay, so I've got lots of little mini, if these are not the cutest pom-poms in the universe, then you show me one that's cuter. These are so tiny. They're like 5 millimeters across. It looks like confetti in a bag, but soft. A huge one I made that's literally bigger than the rabbit. And the rest are largely like pink and yellow. I have a lot of these. I got little, oh, I do have a white one. It's sparkly though. Is it okay if he has a sparkly tail? That's a contender. Sparkly white. I'll hold these up against him too. I also think it should cover the existing tail. So that's possible. I think, is the big yellow one, what about a big pink one? Big pink one? So I've got big pink, I've got medium-sized pink, and I have little pink. I also have this little tiny light pink one that I made. I'll show these all to you again. This one I made, that actually might be perfect. You know what? Nothing you make goes to waste. Keep it. Keep everything. Be a craft hoarder because you never know when it might be exactly what you need. I have a tiny little white pom-pom. That is too small, I think. Yeah, it's too small. All right, what else have I got? Oh, I got another one I made. I've got a really pretty light mauve, a light purple one. That's like a lilac. I'll hold all of these up against his tail in a second. I have a black one. Could he have a fluffy black tail? Is that a thing? Cottontails don't have black tails though, do they? Well, you know, I'll keep it out just for the heck of it. And I do have like a nice medium-sized yellow one. I mean, he is the Easter Bunny. Sparkle says, so yes to the sparkle from Jessica Rabbit. White sparkly one. Charlie likes the white sparkly one. I will see if it's like not too small. Okay. Okay. I also have a sparkly purple one. Would a sparkly purple one be crazy? I'll hold it up too. I also have sparkly lime green. Nah. I have a fluorescent orange. I don't think you wear fluorescent orange. Okay, I think I've got enough. All right. So let's just put that there. Okay, so first I'm going to hold them up, and then I'm going to hold these up one at a time. So first and foremost, sparkly white. I don't think it fully covers his gray tail. Now, I could trim the tail down. That's not a big deal. Sparkly white. Is it the right look? I mean, it's a white fluffy tail, but it's sparkly. So, crochet a magic ring, says Charlie. You could totally make a sewn applique like the beaded ones with those tiny pom-poms. A rainbow would be adorable. Oops, crafting squirrels, says Shell. So Jessica Rabbit thinks it's too small. Is it too small in general? Like even if I trimmed the little gray background that it sits on? All right, that's a sparkly one. The purple sparkly one is the same size, so that might be too small too. It's cute, but too small. Yeah, I kind of agree, ladies. I think he should have a luxurious tail. Black is not the vibe we're going for, I'm guessing. Like, black is kind of... doesn't really suggest Easter, does it? And he's not really a goth bunny, so no to the black one, I think. I don't think you'd think it was his tail either. You'd think he was lugging a piece of coal around or something. Okay. I love this size. This is the medium size. And I think it's the perfect size. What do you think of the yellow? Is yellow a bit ridiculous? It looks like he's wearing a pom-pom on his back end. That's the yellow. I love that size. This is the slightly smaller version of the mauve, which almost looks gray when you hold it up against him because it's such a light purple. It almost looks a bit gray, which kind of works because he could have a gray tail. So I'll put that in the maybe section. So far I've got the sparkly white, the yellow, and the purple one in the maybe section. The one I made, which is an actual yarn pom-pom, it's light pink. So it almost looks white, and I kind of like it because it has more texture to it. Good size, wrong color. Yeah, I think so too. So the yellow one is out. Okay, so yellow one is out. Possibly with the pink tail, the homemade pom-pom. I think that one has a nice texture to it, so I'm going to put that in the maybe pile. And the bright pink. So I just love this pink. So Jessica Rabbit and Dizzy and Shell like the purple. Jessica also likes the homemade one. Okay, and then, so no to the pink. I kind of like the idea of using one of my homemade pom-poms too. I think it's like, it's got that texture. Crochet Girly and Jessica Rabbit think the homemade one looks best. I do too. You see how it's got that like, hi Carlene. Okay, sign over here. Okay, Shell thinks too. So we're going to go with the homemade one. That's great. So that's his tail looked after. I will trim my two ends and glue gun on his tail. Easy peasy. I'm going to glue this right in the center. And there we go. Done. So he's got his perfect little tail. The texture helps. I agree. Okay. Everybody likes the homemade one. And then Jessica Rabbit is saying that over purple. It's a very light. In the defense of the purple pom-pom, it's such a light purple, it almost looks gray in this character. Okay, so tail is done. I think our sweet bunny needs a tie, a bow tie. So I am going to grab my jar of fabric. And I've got this one in mind. I'm pretty sure it's in there. I'm going to pull it out. But first, I'm going to tidy up my workspace a smidge. So, I do not need this any longer, so I'm going to put that away. It's not that I've got limited space here, it's just that I so easily lose things. The more I kind of pile onto the craft table, I'm sure all of you have gone through something similar. I just don't want anything like my little, you know, needles to get lost. So I'm going to put them away because I'm done with them. And the cute little scissors, they can all go back in there. And I'll tuck that into the kit. And just a reminder, I will post another poll to see which one we're going to do next, because this is animal number 6 and we still have 4 to go. Amazing. What a kit. Okay. So, kit done. I'm going to just tidy this mess up. Boxes. And glue gun stays glue gun stays plugged in because I'm going to glue gun the bow tie to the bunny. I need needle and thread. And I just so happen to have thread and needle kit, always close at hand. I think I'll keep my sewing clips handy too, just in case. So, let me grab my big jar of scraps. Woof. Charlie's going to bed. Good night, Charlie. Thanks for hanging out. Okay, let's see here. Becky says, I'm just sewing mine together. Bedtime for Charlie and the cats. Good night. Thank you so much. We're from everywhere, so you know Vima was here earlier, and of course she's got to head to bed even earlier than us. Strawberries! This might even eclipse the idea I had. Okay, now we've got to go down this whole adorable fabric print rabbit hole. Rabbit hole! We're going down a rabbit hole. Okay, all right, serious. So possibility. Let me see here. So this is I love this. This is a gigantic candy jar basically, and I just keep pretty quilt scraps in it because I'm always dipping into my quilt scraps, and I like to see things. I like to see them because I think they're pretty. So I'm going to pull out the colors that I originally... Linda says, is there a live stream tomorrow? Linda, there will be a live stream on Jada InStitches tomorrow, and that will be at the usual time. And for if any reason something goes haywire, like the weather knocks us out, I will put a post in the post tab. But as far as we're concerned, we should be going as usual over there at, what is it, at 11:30 a.m. Eastern on the Jade InStitches channel. So yes. So let me just pull out some colors. I'm going to try and keep everything, I try to keep everything fairly neat, which is really funny because for some reason I don't do that with my felt, but I try to keep my fabric neat and tidy. I don't know. Got some purples here. I don't know who would be interested in purple. Look at this. Just look at this. Does this not make you want to go, first of all, wear a dress like this and go have a picnic? This is like a purple gingham, which already should be a uniform, and it's got like little squiggly, it looks like green rickrack running along the inside of it. I just love this. I just love this. Yeah, Mr. InStitches would try to fill that with candy. I agree. Love this one. If it wasn't for the fact that it was straight lines, I would consider it for his bow tie. Also, it needs to be brighter in color because he's gray, but he's kind of like, almost like, again, with the lilac, he kind of lilac gray, it could kind of go either way. A mummy milkshake. That sounds really good. Is that like alcohol in a regular milkshake? And can you even mix alcohol into a regular milkshake? Asking for a friend? All right. I've got pinks here. Pink would be really appropriate because of these. There's pink in him. I might put my pinks to the side and think about that. I've got yellows. Oh, that might be cute. I've also got like this little scrap of cherries on yellow, which is about the size that I kind of want. I might consider this. It's got, like, I mean, you can't fully see the cherries, but it's got enough pink and pretty green in it, and it's a nice bright yellow that I feel like that would make a really excellent use of that scrap. I'm going to keep that out. So far, I've got strawberries and cherries out. Maybe Jade is hungry. Yes, you can? Okay. Booze and ice cream? Have I been missing out? Probably. Greens. Ooh, oh, jeez. Guys. Hearts against a rich, vibrant green. That's a contender. I think that's a contender. The cherries kind of look like little eggs. That's a good point, Shell. Well, they're a contender. So I think I've got the strawberries. The efficient part of me wants to use that scrap and make it into like a perfect little bow tie for him. So I'm kind of leaning in that direction, but that scrap of green is so cute. I'll put that there. I've got blue. So far, oh, there it is. I'm just going to straight jump to it. This is it. This is the fabric that I had in my mind. Tell me you understand why. I'll even undo it just so you can see the full power of it here. So I don't know if the lighting does it justice, but this is what I think of when I think of Easter. We've got flowers, there's beautiful pinks and purples and blues and greens that meld into pretty more blues, and there's just yellow. There's every color of the rainbow, but it's all kind of like a really pretty, like, it's not pastels, but it's like strong pastels. Does that make sense? There's just something about the colors in this. I love it so much. Jessica Rabbit loves the little hearts. Do you see what I mean? I told you this would be a problem. This is the one I had in mind. I think this is so perfect. But I have literally 3 others here that I wasn't even thinking of that would have been so good. I can see why it could not be more spring. See? Yeah. Oh my God, I love that one. It's totally Easter. I think so too, Maria. I think so too. Okay. We will decide. I'll even do a poll. So let me put all this away. I'm not even going to give myself any other options because this is already a crazy amount of like quilting goodness. So I'm going to put all of this back here. Okay. So you can sit down on the floor. Okay. The polls. Here we go. I'm going to type it in and then I will go through them one more time. We're going to do a poll. Polls are fun. La 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 la. Come on. Okay, here we go. Start a poll. What fabric am I using for the bow tie? Question. We're going to do strawberries, cherries, hearts, and I'm going to call the last one Spring Garden because it's full of like flowers and stuff. All right. There you go, my lovelies. Please vote and I will go through them again. So, in full context, strawberries. Super cute. I think it would look nice with him because he's gray. So that's a nice contrast. I'm looking for contrast. I also love strawberries because strawberries. So strawberries on yellow background. Very happy, very spring, very spring. Second, the little cute scrap of cherries on yellow. So much like the strawberries, it's the same kind of pink and green against a yellow background. It's the perfect size. So the economist in me wants to be economical and use that. It would be a perfect little amount to make his little bow tie out of. So cherries. Crazy left field, bright green fabric with lots of pretty colored hearts on it. Also a nice option. Green, you know, is a very spring color. These are very strong colored hearts. Not that I'm going to hold that against it. I think all of these are really great. It's just another contender, but it's different because it's bright green mostly as opposed to bright yellow. That's the hearts. And the one I originally went in there to get, this, what I'm calling the Spring Garden, because it's got all the colors. Obviously, it would look nice with him because it's got all these different colors. And I also get to sort of choose where I take the rectangle from, because I've got, like, I love this row of flowers. I love this little row of flowers. I love this little row of flowers, but this one with the pink and the yellow and the purple against the green, I think that might be like the one I take, just because it's got the most color, and it's a little bit different from him. So, Spring Garden, that's the one I'm calling Spring Garden. And that is the one, that's the one I had in my mind when I went and grabbed the bin. So, poll is up. You guys always have a better sense of these things. The group always makes sense. So, strawberries, cherries, hearts, or the Spring Garden. I'm going to make a bow tie for our little sir. So I'm thinking something about no more than 2 inches or 5 centimeters wide, and certainly nothing more than 2.5 centimeters or an inch in width, and that would be the flare out part. So very small. So let me see, what's everybody got to say here? Shell says, beautiful, but it's such a big piece, you have so many options to use it. I do. Some of these are quite large pieces, but I'm at the point where I want to use it, regardless of the, like, I might start, well, you guys all saw my ironing board cover that I did last year. It's the same thing. I'm using up like all these tiny squares of just whatever bright colors that I've got lying around, and I'm just using them for whatever project. I've trying to fight the part of me that holds on to things and doesn't use it, because I keep thinking, oh, there might be a better project down the road. No. If we like it, we're going to use it. Jessica Rabb makes a good point. It's going to be a tiny bow, so larger prints might get lost. It's true, it's true. So we've got 25% for the strawberries, 25% for the cherries, and 17% for the hearts. So the hearts, so far, least number of votes, that's fine. It is the least Eastery of the group. And just because it's hearts, it doesn't really say Valentine's Day either, which is probably why I like this print. That and the fact that it's that crazy bright green. But that's the least votes for now, fine. And the most votes so far is the Spring Garden, and it's this one. It's the one I had in my brain, and like I said, I'm going to take a piece of it. So we've got 12 votes. That's nice. I'll give you another couple of seconds, so anybody, you know, who can like jump in on the poll. Otherwise, I will make a little bow tie for him. I'm not going to bust out the iron. I'm just going to like press the seams with my fingers, and since it's quilting cotton, it'll hold relatively well, I think. I could top stitch with embroidery floss. We'll see how it looks. Linda says, I am fighting the part of me that says buy more yarn. I literally drove by Michael's today and I went, no. Cranked the wheel in the other direction. And for what? I don't need anything there. I don't need any yarn. You guys have seen my room. It's a yarn shop on its own in here. I don't need any yarn. I don't need any beads. I don't need more felt. I don't need more paint supplies. I don't need more of anything. But the packaging, and it's new, and it's like a shape that I don't have, or it's a brush that I don't have, or you know, or there's a whole new section of like, I walk by the Cricut section. I don't have a Cricut. I can't decide which Cricut to get. Every time I think to myself, okay, I think I know which one I want. They come out with like a whole new cricket edition, and so there's like 6 or 7 of them on the market. I don't know which one I would get at this point. So I walk by those aisles and I look longingly at all the rolls of the vinyl and the just I don't need any of it, but boy oh boy oh boy. Oh, hi Sarah, how's it going? The heart print says boiled sugar hard candies, says Jessica Rabbit. That boiled sugar hard candies, that it does. Very insightful. I love it. Sarah says, I love that you are sharing your sewing adventures too. I'm the same when it comes to fabric and hold on to scraps of fabric just in case. Sarah, that is just my pretty quilting small scraps. This jug, this bucket here, this glass bin. Plus, I think it's cute. I like to line the odd little thing, like the odd little gift bag or something. So it's nice to have this on hand. Plus, I like to make things for the dolls every once in a while. The sewing, the bin of, I'm looking at one of them just sort of like off camera there, and it's a hulking beast of a bin full of fabric. And that's just like what I would consider the spring summer fabrics. I want to make myself another skirt for the spring, but I can't like, and I want to use this pattern that I made my first ever skirt out of when I was 14, but I'm pretty sure I think my waist is about, I think I'm about in total like 4 inches. I would definitely go 4 or 5 inches more in circumference than my waist was when I was 14, which I mean is believable. It was a long time ago, but that means I'm going to have to redraft the pattern. So I'm stalling out on that. Anyway, I love all of it. There isn't enough hours in a day to do all the things that I want, but I am. That's one of the things I want to do. I want to try and redraft this beloved pattern so that I can make this skirt again to fit me now, because it's like, and I think I've got the fabric I want to use. I'm not sure, but I'm trying not to buy anything more. Y'all know what I'm struggling with. Okay, so we've got 13 votes and we're dead split between the strawberries and the spring garden. Mr. InStitches, did you vote?
No.
Can you vote, please? I need a tiebreaker. I will hold the 2 pretty little fabrics up. So it's between, for the bow tie on my sweet little Easter rabbit, it is either, yeah, I'm holding them up here. It's the strawberries. So big, juicy pink strawberries on a bright yellow fabric, or this very pretty lines of flowers. So like, it's like, I'll be picking one of the, oh, sure. Mr. Stitches wants to see them against the rabbit. Okay, so Monsieur Rabbit wearing the finest in spring strawberries. He is modeling our latest in the strawberry wardrobe, or Monsieur Rabbit is back with a very lovely spring garden. There's also, I notice, a cute little, I would use probably this one, like the brighter colors. Again, it's going to be like 2 inches long, 1 inch wide. So yeah, so strawberries or spring garden. Oh, we jumped up to spring. Spring garden has gotten an extra vote. Did you vote? Oh. Okay. Well, whichever one wins, I'm gonna quickly cut out a longer rectangle, fold it in half, right sides together, stitch all the way around it, turn it right side out, pinch it, and put like something around the middle. You've all seen a bow being made. I'm gonna do that. So I need my better scissors. Not the best, but they're better. And that means that the strawberries and the pretty little hearts are going back in the bin. Ooh, to be used another day. All right, Spring Garden has won. We've got 15 votes. 40% of the vote has gone to Spring Garden. So that's lovely. Thank you guys for voting. This is it. This is the one. So I'm going to pick I like this. It's this one up here. So what I want to do, it's going to be no more than 2 inches wide. So I'm going to cut a piece that's 2.5 inches wide. It's going to be no more than 1 inch tall. So I'm going to cut a piece that's 2 1/4. It's 2 1/2. It's 2 inches wide, so 2 1/4. The quarter is my seam allowance. And it's only 1.5 inch tall, but I'm folding it in half, so I'm going to cut it 2 1/4. So 2 1/4 by 2 1/4, I'm cutting a perfect square. And I'm going to make it so that this is largely the part you see. So give me a moment. Here we go. So 2 1/4 right there. 2 1/4. I'm going to cut out. So that's the slice right there. Hey, Penny. Hi, sweetie. Hi. Hello, hello. How's it going, Munkin? Hi, baby. Do you want to come up and say hello? I'm going to cut that. So, sorry, I'm just cutting my square out. This is going to be perfect, but it doesn't have to be. Hi, sweetie. Okay, hang on, hang on. Okay, okay. Okay, come here. Oops. If I say come here, don't get on your back. You're not supposed to jump on your back. You're supposed to come up and say hello. Come here. Come here. No, just bellies? Sorry, everybody. I have to pay the belly tax here. All right. There's my square. I'm going to fold that in half now. She just comes in to say hello. It's really cute. So, folding it in half. So I'm going to fold that in half. This is now right sides together. I'm going to stitch around the 3 sides and then pull it inside out or right side out. So that means I need like a little, I think I'm going to use, the little middle part, I'm going to use this bit. So I'm going to trim. It's going to be very small. Okay. So that'll be, I'm going to turn obviously the ends. It's like a little ribbon. It's so cute. I'm going to turn the ends in, obviously. So it won't be the whole thing showing, but it'll be enough. Okay, let's quickly stitch this up. I don't need a beading. I think I'm going to go with a slightly larger needle. And I've got some thread in here already, so I'll just use what's already there. Jessica Rabbit has helped force the vote with Mr. Rabbit's phone. Love it. Okay, so I'm just going to, like, this is an 1/8 of an inch seam, and I'm just going to do a running stitch because I don't think it needs a back stitch. I will not be finishing the ends because this is just a little crafty bow tie, but it's going to look really cute, I think. So I will back stitch at the corner, however. So yeah, I'm using an 1/8 of an inch seam allowance because I'm hand stitching this. And then when I open it up, I'm just going to flatten it with my fingers. So I'm breaking all the sewing rules today. Hand sewing though, I mean, it is just so nice to do a little bit of that. So I think you can see what I'm doing. Sewing all the way around. And then I'm going to back stitch in the corner, pause, pull the whole thing inside out, or right side out, I suppose. So I'm just going to back stitch right here, pause, and pull it. I need something to, So I'm going to grab that. Oops. Okay. Crochet hooks have a million purposes. All right. Got a nice little corner. There we go, little end. And now I'm going to fold the inside in, and I guess I'll ladder stitch this closed just so we have a little bit of neatness. Did not expect to find myself hand stitching here, but why not? Also didn't expect to have my camera blow out on me, of all the things. So I'm just going to fold the inside of this, the edges in. This is already so cute. And then I will slowly pull it out. I'm going to do my best to have like 1/8 of an inch seam on this side as well. There. That feels good. Okay. Dizzy says, does anyone have a good site to order dragon safety eyes, etc., fairy tale eyes? Ooh. Yes, does anyone? I also would like to know. I haven't. I'm really dealing with a tiny little bit of thread here, but I can do it. I know I can. There we go. Linda says, I watched your very old InStitches family video where you painted a beautiful lakeside picture. You are so talented with that brush. Gee whiz, thank you. That was actually really fun. I think we just sat at the beach and did that. Watercolor is very forgiving. If you've never done any, if you don't really fancy yourself a painter, then I highly recommend playing with watercolors because they're very forgiving. You can kind of get a lot of depth and texture by accident. Okay, I'm just stitching up the edge of this little shirt here. All right, where's tie? That looks good. I will now knot this. That's going to take a bit of doing, but I will do it. And then I will use a longer tie or longer string for the other piece, which I've got to fold under. I might just glue gun the centerpiece because it's kind of going to be very finicky to sew. This doesn't want to get re-threaded. I've threaded it up so many times and it's like, nope, I'm done. All right, I trim you. There we go. And now a little knot. I just undid it. One more little knot. Come on. There we go. Okay. Done. So this is the main part of the tie. And then, you know, you just kind of like, you kind of squish it in half and then squish the ends together. And you get okay, jumping ahead of myself. I'm going to fold the long ends in. I might even run a bead of glue down the middle. Dare I do this? I've got way more here than I need. Maybe what I'll do is okay, I'm gonna do a little bit of cheating. I'm gonna put a little bit of glue, fold in that bottom end. I'm just using the little bits of glue that are on the nozzle, and fold under that end. Okay, so that's a start. And then I'm gonna fold in the two sides. And I'm just gonna kind of like, with my nail, I'm just sort of creating a bit of a crease. So that's one side, and then the other. Yeah, okay. So this is gonna be my front. I love this. Like the little stripes work out so nicely, but I love the flowers. So I'm gonna fold it, and then we're gonna decide which is like, which looks better. So right away, the little stripes, perfect, right? Those little stripes are like perfect, especially on that scale. I really like that. However, the little flowers show up nicely too. Let me refold that. I'm holding like the fiddliest little thing. So like the little flowers show up too. I think gee. Oh, I think it's going to be the stripes. Do you know, I intentionally picked it because of the flowers, but I think the stripes look best. So the little stripes, oh, I can't see me because my hand's in the way. The little stripes, can you see what I'm doing? So there's the little stripes. Or the little flowers. Once again, I find myself, the little flower under his nose looks so cute, but then the little stripes look like he's wearing a party tie. I think I gotta go with the stripes. The stripes, I gotta do the stripes. Okay, stripes it is. Here we go. I'm going to anchor this back here. So I'm gonna turn this around. Create a little bit of room. Come here, you. All right, so. And this is the smallest little bow tie I've ever sewn together. So I want to do this. And I want to keep it. This is not easy to do. All right, So, oh, I think I got it. I think I got it. Yes, yes I do. Come on, stay under there. This is keeping all, requires all my fingers to keep it in place. All right, and then one last little blot of glue. Let's not make it all, okay, there we go. And, okay, let's fluff up this tie. I mean, not bad. So here we go. There's his little bow tie. And now I will affix it. I love how these little embellishments are getting more and more ridiculous. Right under his little chin. Yep. Okay. He's all dressed up and ready for Easter now. Ah, I love it. Okay. Stripes, stripes, stripes. Everybody agrees on the stripes. I was in it for the flowers too, I have to say, but the stripes are perfect. It just, that's what you call a happy accident. It worked out so lovely. And then, you know, if you just flip it over, there's a little bit of flower back there. So it's nice on both sides, but the stripes work in this little scale. So there we go, guys. The Easter bunny. I have completed the rabbit. I can calm down and stop yakking about the rabbit now. I am so glad. He's so cute. The little fluffy tail, great idea from Charlie. And he needed a little bow tie. I think because I'm thinking about him being the Easter rabbit. Having a little bow tie is like perfect. He's coming to the party to kind of be the entertainment, I think. He's so cute. Everybody likes it. He's ready for Easter, exactly. Oh my gosh. Okay. All right, you guys. So, the rabbit is done. Woohoo! That is number 6 of all of these cute little critters. Let me just tidy up my workspace for the billionth time today. And I'll show them all to you again. So, first I must fold up my fabric and get this tucked away in my little fabric stash. And there we go. So fabric back into the hole. There we go. Scissors can go away. So rabbit is done. Cat is done. I feel like these two guys are friends. They're kind of like looking at each other. Rabbit and cat. Obviously, horse and cow. So that's another nice little pairing. And then our two fowl friends, our duck and our rooster. So that's 6 of the little animals done. They are getting, one after the next gets cuter and cuter and cuter. And now, of course, our little rabbit is actually wearing a bow tie. Love it. Fluffy tail and a bow tie. For reference, that's what he looks like. That's what the package comes as. I think he needed the tie. It was worth it. It was worth the extra time. The tie is so cute. Recommend the bow tie. If you want to make one for your rabbit, I cut a 2 1/4 inch square. So that would be about 6 centimeters by 6 centimeters. Perfect square. Folded it in half. Right side, stitched all the way around, left space, folded it right side out, finished that hole up, pinched it in the middle, and put a little ribbon around the middle. I didn't even bother with sewing in the middle. I just glue gunned it. So easy peasy if you want to add one. And if you are a sewer, a seamstress, a sewist, or whatever the new phrase for us, those of us who like the sewing machine, you've probably got scraps lying around. So pick something cute for his little bow tie. This is so much fun. Okay, you guys. Thank you for posting about this channel on your main channel. I didn't know you had this one. I've got to go back and watch all the other cute little kids. You know what, Crochet Girly? This has been a fun little series. I've got videos too. I love to craft. And it occurred to me in some of the conversations that I had, a few of them with Jessica Rabbit earlier this year, that crafting, I mean, we talk about it all the time. Crochet is wonderful, and it's so good for our mental health, and it's wonderful to make things, and crochet is it's just such a joy. But if you like to crochet, chances are you like to do other things. You like to collect craft supplies. You like to be crafty. You like to try other crafts. And it's very easy to fall into the, time frame of I only have time to do this one thing, or everybody wants something from me that's crocheted. So now I'm crocheting all the time and I like it, but there's this pile up of other kits and crafts and things that I want to do. So the whole point of being here at Stories in Stitches is that we will put up the odd video, we will live stream, and it is a moment, a little bit of time for all of us to just remember that it's okay to sit down with one of the other kits or to get into that craft stash. A big part of this is all of the constant craft supply stashing that I've been doing for the last 40 years. I do have beads from like little bracelets that I wore when I was a little kid. I just did the friendship pins video, and I literally still have some of the beads from my original friendship pins. I mean, what was I, 7, 8? So I don't throw out anything because it's all precious to me, all these craft supplies. But I want to use them. I want to do stuff. I want to be creative in all the different ways. And sometimes I don't want to think. And this little kit takes all the thinking out of it for you. The fun part is adding a little embellishment or two, or nothing. I didn't add anything to the duck. I thought the duck was just perfect on the way he was. So we're all about having fun here. We're all about stitching up our own story. I am stitching myself a fairy tale, and that is all of this silliness, and it is all of you along for the ride. So thank you. Thank you for joining me. Maria, the kit link, I got it from Amazon. It's not an affiliate or anything, but I've linked that exact link to the kit that I got in the description box. And it's been successfully picked up here in Canada, in the UK, and in the US. So you shouldn't have any trouble getting it. There's another one too that's Forest Friends, which I will probably be getting because I've just been having so much darn fun with this. And I also want to get kind of creative, and they don't have like this, all of the cute sketches in this include like the little tractor and the wheelbarrow. They don't actually have kits for the tractor and the wheelbarrow, and I thought it would be really fun to try and make that. So lots of fun to come with this silly little kit. What was it, like 15 bucks, girls? And you don't have to even do them all if you don't want to. It's a great party thing. Sit down with your friends, sit down with kids, sit down with seniors. Everybody gets to put one of these together. It's just like a fun little party thing. This is just so much fun. It is such a nice way to spend an hour or two. And it's very social. You don't have to be like super thinky about it. Okay, all right, everybody. Thank you for hanging out. We will see a lot of you, I hope, tomorrow on the other channel for our regular Monday live stream. It's a busy week, very, very busy. It is Easter week. It is calendar blanket week on the other channel. And it's just sort of like try and keep your sanity and have some fun while the week goes by. So there is no set schedule here. We will just kind of put together a live stream or a video whenever we feel we have time, or the inkling, or the weather is nice, whatever. So it's kind of like, we'll always try to kind of get the stream up and going about a half an hour-ish out. So if you've got notifications turned on, you should be notified. Past that, thank you for hanging out. Stay safe and crafty. Have a good evening, a good night, a good morning, wherever you may be. Remember, you get to sew your own story. You get to stitch it up one little stitch at a time. And I'm making mine a fairy tale. So thank you all for being a part of that. I will see you tomorrow on the other channel. I will see you later, who knows when, on this channel. Thank you for being at both channels. And enjoy the rest of your day. We'll see you guys soon. Have a great night. Bye, guys.